after discussing what's purportedly the world's largest fiberglass strawberry, which is in Iowa, we're hopping across the Atlantic to France to have a look at something that's indisputably superlative: the world's largest strawberry cake. This is what you get when you mix up 330 pounds of sugar, 771 pounds of strawberries, 914 pounds of pastry cream, 4,000 eggs. You get it. It's one cake that's short on nothing. It took chefs days to put this thing together, and they didn't just make it massive, they paid attention to detail to make it artistic as well. Bakers had to stick to a traditional width and height of strawberry cake to obtain the Guinness World Record. So it's the length of the grandiose dessert that sets it apart. It measures 400 feet from end to end. The manager of the pastry shop that made it says Italians have held the record since 2019. Now it's the French that take the cake. Welcome to Friday, whose forecast calls for a 100% chance of awesome. I'm Carl Azuz with the world from A to Z. We are so thankful to be part of your day. In a part of southern Asia, tensions are soaring between two neighboring countries in the days after a violent attack. It occurred in the disputed region of Kashmir. This area is surrounded by Afghanistan, India, Pakistan, and autonomous regions of China. But it's India and Pakistan that have fought numerous wars over Kashmir. Each country controls part of the territory, but wants to have it entirely. Both Pakistan and India believe Kashmir belongs to them. And their ongoing dispute over this has flared up once again after a recent terrorist attack claimed the lives of 26 tourists in a part of Kashmir controlled by India. The Associated Press reports that attacks on civilians here are rare. Almost all of the victims were Indian, and that country blames Pakistan for supporting terrorist groups in Kashmir. Pakistan denies having anything to do with Tuesday's attack and says there's no proof that it did. But now, the two countries have closed their border, clamped down on travel to the other nation, and threatened to take steps that could worsen their decades-old dispute.
Word of knowledge. What was the third state to join the U.S. after Delaware and Pennsylvania? Georgia, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New Jersey. It was on December 18, 1787, less than 2 weeks after Delaware was admitted, that the state of New Jersey joined the Union.
The East Coast state of New Jersey is grappling with what could be its largest wildfire in 20 years. The Garden State is no stranger to these events. Statista.com reports that New Jersey saw more than 1,400 wildfires last year. But what's been named the Jones Road wildfire has burned more than 15,000 acres as of yesterday afternoon, though firefighters were making progress in containing it or blocking it off. A 19-year-old man's been charged with arson for allegedly burning wooden pallets and then leaving before the fire was extinguished. There have been no injuries, but hundreds of buildings have been threatened, and there are concerns about air quality in the U.S. Northeast.
In the U.S., around 156 million people are living around unhealthy air, according to a new report using the latest air quality data from 2021 to 2023. That's about 25 million more than last year's report. Exposure to particle pollution not only affects lungs, the World Health Organization says exposure can also raise risk of health problems like certain cancers, stroke, asthma, preterm births, dementia, depression, and anxiety. There's also a significant impact on your heart, says cardiologist Dr. Andrew Freeman with National Jewish Health.
It creates inflammation. It's associated with atherosclerosis or coronary disease.
To keep bodies as healthy as possible in poor air quality, Freeman says to change air filters frequently to remove irritants from the air. Properly ventilate your living space, monitor ozone levels. You may want to avoid times when they peak. Stay indoors if possible on days when the air quality is poor, especially if you have a chronic heart or lung condition. Andy says to prioritize your health.
On this date in world history. This was the date in 1859 when construction began on the Suez Canal in Egypt. The project was overseen by a French diplomat, and it involved the work of thousands of Egyptian laborers. There were numerous challenges and delays during construction, but when it was finally finished in 1869, the 120-mile-long waterway successfully connected the Red Sea with the Mediterranean. Another engineering marvel opened on this date in 1959. The St. Lawrence Seaway utilizes the St. Lawrence River and allows ships to sail from the Atlantic Ocean to the Great Lakes. Canada and the U.S. teamed up to build it, and it took 5 years to complete. And April 25th, 2014 was when the Flint water crisis began. The city of Flint, Michigan tried to save money by changing its water supply from Lake Huron to the Flint River. But the river water wasn't treated for chemicals, and they caused corrosion in Flint's aging pipes that threatened the health of residents. The effects of the crisis reverberate today.
You said the Jack of Diamonds?
Yes.
This is not it. This is the 8 of Clubs. Could you hold your hand out, Brad?
Aidan Corcoran might seem a bit young to be working the close-up room at Hollywood's famous Magic Castle. He's actually an elder in the Academy of Magical Arts Junior Society.
When I was 18, my dream was always to come to the Magic Castle.
Diana Zimmerman, one of the few female pro-magicians of her day, started the Junior Society 50 years ago. 2 former members now lead the Junior Society.
We both do what we do just because this program, it changed my life. I know it's changed the lives of so many.
The ability to stand up in front of a group of people, the confidence that you develop. Magic is just a baseline for all the kids in this program, whether they go on as entertainers or to do other things, and this is an adjunct.
Does anybody want some gum? Yeah, okay. Here. I don't even have enough for one. Here, give me a moment. Wow.
Amanda Nepo likes creating her own illusions from scratch.
Unlike most magicians who will learn something from a book or a video and then adapt the performance, again, I'll think, well, what if I could just make gum appear? And then I'll reverse engineer to figure out how that works.
Winston Pinar says the society has inspired him to become a professional magician.
Coming here and being in the junior program, the greatest opportunity is just like being constantly surrounded by all sorts of professional magicians from all around the world who are like successful.
Right now I'm doing like private and corporate events and stuff like that, and so I would love to continue doing that. I think I want to do AGT in the next few years. I want to do everything I can. Tour with the Illusionists would be awesome, like everything.
No way. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Called the natural state, the Razorback state, or the land of opportunity, you're talking about Arkansas. And that's where Mr. Holthoff's class is at Woodland Junior High School. Hello to our friends in Fayetteville. From the community of Pueblo, West Colorado, we welcome the Panthers today from Liberty Point International School. Mr. Mayfield's class is in the Centennial State. And our last stop's in Granville, North Dakota. From the Peace Garden State, Mr. Gifford's class is online at TGU Granville High School, home of the Titans. A meteoroid that became a meteor and thankfully not a destructive meteorite is our last story today. A scientist in southern Brazil says what started as a meteoroid, a rock zipping through space, became a meteor as it entered Earth's atmosphere over the Atlantic and started burning up. It disintegrated over Brazil in a great ball of fire. And while the search is on for meteorites, the chunks that survive and hit the ground, we had no immediate reports of damage. Yes, it shook some nerves and rattled some brains, and if you're not meteoronoid, you think space news rocks and you love consuming it to fill your meteor appetite, it's hard to think of something meteor. We were originally going to serve up a peanut-shaped asteroid for our last story today, but the other one just fell in our lap. I'm Carl Azuz. Thank you for watching The World from A to Z. You mean the world to me. Have a great weekend.